Good morning, dear children. Today we are here to continue chapter number 5, Coal and Petroleum, part 2. Now, in the first video of this chapter, we had seen the introduction of this chapter, where we studied about natural resources, types of natural resources, that is exhaustible and inexhaustible natural resources, and further we studied the types of exhaustible resources, which were renewable and non-renewable resources. In non-renewable resources, we studied that coal, petroleum and natural gases are non-renewable resources. So in this chapter, we will further study in detail about non-renewable exhaustible natural resources. So first of all, we will start with the relative terms of this non-renewable natural resources. Now in the last video, the first video, I told you that non-renewable resources are the resources which cannot renew themselves, which cannot recycle and replace themselves quickly within a reasonable time. So here the first topic that is related to this non-renewable resources is fossil fuels. Now as you all know, fuels are the materials which are burned to produce heat and light. This you have learned it before also. Now when the plants and animals die, the remains get buried under the earth for millions of years, and then they become fossils. So the remains of dead plants and animals which are buried under the earth millions of years ago are called fossils. Okay. Now coal, petroleum and natural gases. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are the fuels which are formed from fossils. Means coal, petroleum and natural gas are the fuels which are formed from the dead plants and animals, remains of dead plants and animals. That's why they are called as fossil fuels. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are fossil fuels because they are formed from the remains of dead plants and animals. Now here you can see the first, in detail we will discuss about the first fossil fuel, that is coal. Now coal, all of you might have seen coal in reality also. Now as we discussed, coal is a fossil fuel. Why it is a fossil fuel? Because it is formed from a fossil, from the remains of plants. Now it is hard and black in color. You can see in the picture it is black in color, and when you touch it you will find it that it is hard also. Now where these coals are formed? Coal are found in deep coal mines under the earth. Now mines, as you know, when we extract the fossil fuels, we have to dig the hole, we have to excavate the land. So after digging the hole, it becomes a mine. So in other words, you can say it's a big hole. So this coal is found in a deep coal mines under the earth. And how it is found? It is found in the form of coal beds. Now here beds means a specific area, a specific land will be fully covered with the coal. Now in the image you can see here, can you see this part of land fully black? So this is coal bed because all the coal is gathered here. It is in the form of bed. Understood? Coal is found in the mine in the form of coal bed. Now in India we mainly find coal in Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha and Madhya Pradesh. Now big coal mines, the big holes of coal are at Jharia and Bokaro, which is situated in Jharkhand, and the next big coal mine is in Raniganj, which is situated in West Bengal. Next is the formation of coal, how a coal is formed. Now coal is formed from the dead remains of plants. Now as you know, when the plants die and they get buried in the soil, so they start decaying. Decaying means rotting. So here coal is formed by gradual decay. Gradual decay means slowly rotting, and compression of plants' fossils in the absence of air. And this remains of dead plants are compressed. Compressed means they are pressed in the absence of air. Now this slow chemical process of the conversion of dead vegetation into coal under the influence of high temperature and pressure is called carbonization. So when this dead vegetation is getting converted into coal by decaying, and it is decaying in the absence of air and in the presence of high temperature and pressure. So this whole slow chemical process is called carbonization. Now coal contains mainly carbon, but along with it they have hydrogen, oxygen and small amount of nitrogen and sulfur also. Now in this diagram we'll see naturally how it forms. You can see 3 million years ago there was a huge forest, the trees are growing here, but when these trees died, so it got buried under the earth, and the first stage of decaying, you can see this brownish color. So the first stage of decaying is called peat, P-E-A-T, peat. Now what is peat? It is a brown deposit only, and it resembles like a soil. So it is a partial decomposition of dead vegetation, and sometimes it is used as a fuel also. It is cut out and dried to use as a fuel for gardening. So this is a partial decaying of dead vegetation. Now after this stage, now this peat also have carbon content. It has less than 60% carbon content. Now the next stage, this peat will get compressed between the sediment layers, between the rock layers, and it will form the lignite coal. Lignite coal. Now this lignite coal have 60 to 70% of carbon. Now next stage is, furthermore pressure will be there. further compression between the rocks, and it will form the bituminous coal, which has 70 to 80% of carbon. And finally, the next stage, eventually it will form anthracite coal. Anthracite coal has more than 90% of carbon, and this is the pure form of carbon. So you have seen the different stages how the coal is forming. First, the dead vegetation, it will get buried under the soil. Then first it will form peat. Peat is the partial decaying of dead vegetation. Next, it will form it will get compressed between the sediment layers, rock layers, and it will form lignite coal, which is 60 to 70% carbon. Then bituminous coal, which is 70 to 80% carbon, and finally it will form anthracite coal, which is more than 90% carbon. So this is the whole process of the formation of coal naturally. Next we will see uses of coal, where the coal is used. First you can see here, coal is used, or you can say was used, in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. Now before, in olden times, the coal was heated in the engine, and due to the steam produced by burning of coal, the engine used to run, the pressure of steam. Due to the pressure of steam produced by the coal, the railway engine will run. This was the use of coal in olden times. And now in villages, some houses are using coal as a fuel. They are burning the coal in chulas to cook the food, to prepare the food. Next use is thermal power plants to produce electricity. Now in thermal power plants, mainly the machine name is turbine. You might have heard about this machine before also. It has huge blades. Now how this coal is used there? Now there also coal is used to produce hot gas and heat. Now due to this hot gas and heat produced, that heat will convert the water in the tubes of turbine into steam. The water present in the tubes of turbine, it will convert it into steam, and due to the high pressure of the steam, the electricity will be produced. Now the next use of coal is to produce some organic compounds in industries. So the first compound it produces is phenol. Now phenol is a white solid crystal. It is mildly acidic, and it is mainly used in the chemical process. But when it is in diluted form, when it is in liquid form, it can be used as disinfectant also. Most of the people are using it at home, phenol. Next compound that it produces is benzene. Now benzene is a colorless liquid, and it is highly toxic, and it is used as a solvent in chemical process. Now next compound is toluene. Toluene is also a colorless liquid, but it is not toxic. It is also used as a solvent, mainly in organic process. You might have seen the paint thinners, and you can see when the paint thinner is nearby you also, you can get a strange smell. So that strange smell is of toluene only. And the next compound that it produces is naphthalene. Now naphthalene is used mainly in preparing mothballs. Now mothballs, you might have heard, when at your home in Almiras, your mother may be keeping small white crystals, small white balls to keep the clothes disinfectant from the insects. So that balls are made from naphthalene. They are also called as naphthalene balls. Now the next use of coal is to manufacture coal tar, ammoniacal liquor and coal gas by destructive distillation. So this process we will further study in detail, destructive distillation of coal, and due to this process these products are manufactured, that is coal tar, ammoniacal liquor. This all will study in detail further in this video itself. Now you see the process that we were talking about, destructive distillation of coal. Now this is the process where the coal is broken by heating, where the coal is broken by heating it to the high temperature in the absence of air. Now you can see it is a process of breaking coal by heating it to high temperature in the absence of air. Now to show the destructive distillation of coal, how this process works, take a small amount of powdered coal in a boiling tube. You have to take one boiling tube, and in that you have to take a small amount of powdered coal powder, and you have to take one more tube. In that you have to take water. Now you can see in the diagram, you have to set up this apparatus in the same way. Now you can see in this apparatus there is a burner also, a stand, cocks, 2 cocks also you can see here, and delivery tubes also, this C and D, these are delivery tubes. So this you have to prepare it. Now what you have to do first, you have to heat the powdered coal. Now here we had taken powdered coal in the boiling tube. You have to heat it with the help of Bunsen burner. Now what you will observe, you will see a dark brownish grey vapor is solidified near the mouth of boiling tube and is known as gas carbon. Now you can see here near the mouth of the boiling tube, a grey vapor is solidified, means a grey vapor has changed its shape into solid, and that solid particles are called as gas carbon. Now this vapor, it will escape through this delivery tube number C to the another tube, and here it will form 2 layers. You can see 2 layers, first layer and this is second layer. Now this top layer you can see, that is clear liquid, and it is called as ammoniacal liquor because the water, in water ammonia is dissolved, and it is called as ammoniacal liquor. And the lower layer you can see, it is a thick black liquid, and it is called as coal tar. Now you can see a colorless gas will bubble out through the another delivery tube, that is delivery tube number D. A colorless gas will bubble out here. That gas is called as coal gas. Now this coal gas contains hydrogen, carbon monoxide, methane and ethylene. Now this black residue which is left behind in the boiling tube is coke. After heating the powdered coal, the black residue which will be left over in this boiling tube, it will get converted into coal. Now through this process we saw that what are the products that are created? That are coke, gas carbon, coal tar, ammoniacal liquor and coal gas. Now coke, you might have seen coke is here, the product of this process. Gas carbon was here, coal tar is here, ammoniacal liquor is this one and coal gas is here. So these are the products of destructive distillation of coal, and these products we will study in detail in the next slide. So the first product of destructive distillation of coal was coke. Now you can see the image of coke here. It is tough. Tough means it is stiff, hard. Porous. Porous means it has small pores for the liquid and air to pass through it. Very tiny holes. And it is greyish black substance. Greyish black in color. And it is almost the pure form of carbon, because it contains 98% carbon. Uses of coke. Now where this coke is used, it is mainly used in iron and steel industry as a raw material to heat the furnace. Furnace, you know, no? Yes, furnace where mainly the heating is done. Next use of coke is reducing agent in the extraction of metals from their ores. Now when the metal is extracted from the rock, this coke is used as a reducing agent. Next, coke is also used to manufacture producer gas as well as water gas. Now producer gas, you can see it is a combination of carbon monoxide and nitrogen, and water gas is a combination of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So this both the gases is called producer gas as well as water gas are fuel gas, and they are mainly used for industrial purpose. Here you can see in the image, in iron and steel industry heating the furnace, the coke is used to heat the furnace here, and in extraction of metal from their ores, the coke is used. Next product is coal tar. Tar you might have seen when this construction of road is going on, you can see the thick black substance there. So this is in the image also you can see. So it is a black viscous means thick liquid, and it has a very unpleasant smell, a very awkward smell. Now it is not a single compound. It is a mixture of around 200 different carbon compounds. So coal tar can be separated into different chemical substances. For example, toluene, benzene, naphthalene, phenol, etc. This I told you the use of phenol and what they are in the uses of coal. And now this coal tar can be separated into these chemical substances by the process of fractional distillation. We'll study further in the next video what is fractional distillation. And these chemical substances which are produced by the coal tar through fractional distillation, they are used to manufacture dyes, explosives, paints, varnishes. Varnishes, you know, I think, to paint the wood or any metal. Pesticides, the chemical substances which are used to kill pest insects. Plastics, synthetic fibers, photographic materials, naphthalene balls, roofing materials, etc. These are the uses of the chemical substances which are obtained from coal tar. Now next topic, the last products of coal, destructive distillation of coal, is coal gas and ammonium compounds. Now coal gas also contains 3 combustible gases. Combustible gases means which are flammable, which can catch, which can burn. So coal gas is the combination of 3 gases, that is hydrogen, methane and carbon monoxide. Now it has high calorific value. Calorific value means the amount of heat produced. That will be the calorific value of that substance, of that gas. So it has high calorific value because both hydrogen and methane has high calorific value. Now it burns to produce heat, due to which it is an excellent fuel. Now as you all know, fuel is it is called as fuel because it has the capacity to burn. So it burns to produce heat, that's why it is called as excellent fuel, and it has high calorific value too. And the last product of destructive distillation of coal is ammonium compounds. Now when the ammonium compounds, or you can say ammonia, get dissolved in water, it forms ammoniacal liquor. Okay, so this ammoniacal liquor is used to manufacture nitrogenous compounds. Nitrogenous compound means the compounds which contains nitrogen in them. So today in our video we discussed about the second video of this chapter. We discussed fossil fuels, and in detail we discussed about the first fossil fuel, that is coal, and the products of the destructive distillation of coal, their uses. So go through this video again and grasp all that you can. We'll continue this chapter in the next video, that is part 3.